In this video, I'm going to go over this 2000 watt pure sine wave inverter from the company BELTTT, and I've got it set up. And what I'm going to do for y'all in this video is I'm just going to try to fault it out because I have my heat gun here. I've got a little kind of like triangle sander and a buffer sander right there. Now these are going to use a lot of power. And there's two ways of reading this, so you can run your remote right there. I just plugged it in to show see it in the camera. I see my battery levels right there. We've got 13.2 volts. It's on okay. It's working. It's 119 volts of power coming out of here. And here's all of the setups. You get the on and off button there, a 5 volt, USB-A coming out. And then here's your, if you want to wire it directly into like a housing, a conduit wire, so you'd run the conduit wire right in there, just like that. I like that feature a lot. You get 3 different types of outlets right there. And then there's all of the same thing that's on this. And that looks to be about maybe 20 or 30 foot. That's a long cord. How about that? That's all I know. And there's where you're going to ground it right here. And then you can see the hookup. It did come with these wires right here. So you get some 4 gauge wire that come with it. We're going to start with this little triangle sander. Then we'll go over to the kind of buffer sander, and then we'll hit it with the heat gun, and we'll see how long before we can fault this thing out. So let's get to it. Okay, so we'll move the box aside. Oh, by the way, there is a couple other items in here. It looks like they give you this wrench right here and a lot of fuses. So there is a fuse inside of this, which is awesome that they give you that many fuses. That's actually way more fuses than you'll probably need the life of this thing, that's for sure. So first off, let's go ahead. Let's hook this up, make sure we are turned off. We are. I don't know how well I can see it really good. This one is 120 volts. I don't see a wattage on here. It just says it's 120 as far as the volts. Yeah, I don't see the wattage on there, so there's that. This little sander hits about 300 watts. Between the both of these, we're at about 1,500 watts of power. So we know how that is. That's on 7, by the way, so 1,500 watts of power. Very impressive on the battery. So here's going to be the real test. Let's run this heat gun. This heat gun can go well over 1,500 watts in high and low. We've got it on high right there. This thing's still holding that 1,500 watts on a heat gun. Now, here's where we're probably going to fault it, everybody. This is 1,200 on this one. This is 1,500 on this one. That is crazy. We're probably at about 2,800 watts of power coming out of that. This thing is rated way higher than it's advertised. I am very impressed with this BELTTT. I'm running that little small sander down there, 300 watts, 1,200 watts out of this, and 15 out of this. I cannot fault this thing out. I don't think I have another heater to plug up. I heard it beeping, but it didn't fault out. It just did a high beep, but it didn't fault out at all. That's impressive. I wonder what it takes to get this thing to fault. Let me go grab a little space heater I have, and let's plug the space heater and this heat gun in at the same time, and let's see if we can actually trip the fault on this, because if it's going that high, that's impressive because it's already at 2,000 watts. Now it can normally spike up to, I think, like 5,000 watts on its spike, but it should fault out when it goes that high. So let's see what happens. Okay, so I did find my little handy heater here. So this one goes, I think also the wattage on this is 1,200 watts of power. So 1,200 and 1,500 and 1,200. So this right here will definitely set this thing off if it's going to set it off. Okay, we've officially got that on. I heard the fan kick on this. So we're a little over 1,200, 1,500. Okay, it's beeping now. Let's see what it does when I hit it with that. We're probably right around about 4,000 watts. It's not blowing as hard. The heater's not working. Okay, it did turn the heater off. That's what it did. The heater's not on. I see what it does here. It turns off each individual socket, so it turns that socket off. It's beeping right now. Let me tell you what. It just turned off the socket for the heater. So this one turned off that bottom socket. but all of this is still going. So this is right around about 2,000 watts, pulling on that, and it turned that off. So I see what it did there. Very impressive on that. Let's change it to a second one and see if it'll do it on each one of these. Let's go up here like that. It did it again. Okay, so it's faulting this out because that gets well over 2,000 watts, where this one stays right around about maybe 1,400 or 1,500 watts. Now when I turned off all this, it turned it back on. Yeah, that's a very impressive unit right here. I'm gonna definitely like setting this thing up, and the fact they give you a, you know, a actual remote with this thing where you can run off to the side. I do wish it had wattage on here, but you can figure out the wattage with the items you got and figure all that out. But this is one of the better like inverters I've seen. I've not had an inverter that goes as cleanly as this one does. I think it's a very impressive setup, and they give you everything you need to get this set up, whether it's a remote, the actual wires, and some extra fuses, and even a wrench for tightening things down. There it is, everybody. That's all I got on the BELTTT, you know, 2,000 watt inverter. See you on the next video.